Okay, I'd like to call to order the council meeting Monday, April 24th, 2017. Opening prayer, Reverend Rich Holtz, with Minister Presbyterian Church. Welcome.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we praise you for all the gifts that you have bestowed upon this, our city of North Canton, for the beauty of its parks, for the cleanliness of its streets, for the friendliness of its citizens, for its tranquility, for all those in public service who are committed to its betterment. We praise and thank you. At this time, as the elected officials of this city have gathered together to discern how best to govern this city, provide them, we pray, with the spirit of justice, fairness, and compassion for all those who dwell in this city. And we pray that you would also equip them with wisdom in all their decision-making. Allow them to reason together and discuss issues together in the spirit of civility, patience, and kindness. And above all else, O God, we pray that this goodwill, this civility, and this wisdom that we ask of you tonight would be with those who meet here for as long as they hold office, so that through their actions and their conversations, you may be glorified. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Serrata.
Here.
Foltz.
Here.
Fontaine.
Here.
Griffiths.
Here.
And Peters.
Here.
Five present, Mr. President.
Thank you. May I have a motion to excuse members Keating and Warren? Second.
Foltz.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
And Serrata.
Yes.
5 yes to excuse Councilwoman Warren and Councilwoman Kiesling.
Thank you. And Marcia will be here shortly. She just ran late. Okay, for your consideration, may I have a motion and a second to approve as presented. Committee of the whole meeting minutes, April 17th, 2017. Council meeting minutes, April 10th, 2017. Mayor's Court receipts, March 2017. Financial statements, month-end reports, and new liquor license for Home Buys LLC at 5651 Whipple Avenue Northwest, North Canton, Ohio, 44720.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Serrata.
Yes.
And Foltz.
Yes.
5 yes to approve the minutes and the reports.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to welcome Ms. Lois DiGiacomo Jacobson. She's here to discuss our dialogues on diversity. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I've been a North Canton resident, except for a few years, since 1963. And I want to thank you for the invitation to speak and a very, very warm welcome from you tonight. I'm a member of an organization now called Coming Together Stark County. We began in 1998, and two of the founders are Ron Ponder and Rabbi John Spitzer. Rabbi and I are still members of the team, part of Coming Together Stark County, and have been there since then. About a year ago, I began as one of the programs with Coming Together, bringing a diversity training company to Canton. I've worked with drama with the organization through the years. If we would have any kind of meeting or instructions or outreach to the community, I would write a drama that would present that, that would present what we were going to do, and this was much better than a list or anything that was printed out. That got people into what we were doing. And so it's grown ever since then. We began last March with meetings, and we're reaching out further and further to let people know that this is going on. Coming Together Stark County is the only organization in this county that's devoted exclusively to diversity, dignity, and inclusion. There are members of our organization that are the only persons in the county that are registered with a statewide registration to be able to teach diversity training. For the past year, I've been reaching out into the county in all areas about bringing people together with our diversity projects and learning and whatever is happening within each community. By coming together, we become much stronger and can share. The tagline we're using is Stark County, where diversity works, because over this past year of our organizing and programming, we found that it's been very, very successful. And so that's why I'm here tonight to introduce it to you. We're going to now include everyone here with the notes from our meeting and to put you on the list to know when we're going to be meeting. And so we continued the outreach into the community. There's one area that I would like to talk about just particularly, and that's Louisville. And I'm sure if you've been a resident in Stark County for a while, Louisville did not always have a very good reputation. But I'm happy to tell you that for the past 3 years, they've turned it around quite well. The high school just had their 3rd year of a diversity fair, and it was outstanding. And that was part of the work with Ron Ponder and the mayor in Louisville, Mayor Fallon. So there's a lot to share with you, and I will begin to get that information out to you and make anyone within this area that's welcome, that would like to work with diversity issues and with the whole county in this area, you are most welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, if you wish to address council, please step forward, state your name and address.
Chuck Osborne, 307 Fairview Street, Southeast, North Canton, Ohio. On February 27, 2017, I highlighted to City Council a multitude of actions which have violated the North Canton City Charter. The first violation I detailed as a direct violation of the City Charter was the approval of a variance at an August 5, 2015 meeting of the City's Planning Commission with the City's Law Director in attendance. From the minutes of Council's February 27, 2017 meeting, Law Director Tim Fox immediately follows up my remarks with a rebuttal stating, Mr. Osborne stated that the Planning Commission granted a variance for the cell tower, and clearly they did not occur, close quotes. As is clearly described on page 5 of the minutes of the August 5, 2015 Planning Commission meeting, the Commission did, in fact, approve a variance for the cell tower. In fact, the minutes of the Commission reflect the following dialogue. Commission Chairman Fleckner states, quote, question, do we need a 3rd vote for the variance? North Canton's former Director of Permits and Development, Bowles, responds stating, quote, no, you can approve it with it as presented. Chairman Fleckner responds stating, quote, so that would be part of the motion to approve the site plan, close quotes. The City of Canton and Montebello Estates Homeowners Association also were well aware that North Canton's Planning Commission had approved a variance for the cell tower. Each entity appealed the Planning Commission's approval, citing the fact that North Canton's Planning Commission exceeded its authority under the city's charter when it approved this variance. I include copies of those appeals from each of those appellants. On September 22, 2015, an appeal was on the agenda for the meeting of the North Canton Zoning Board of Appeals. Prior to the board's hearing the appeal, Law Director Tim Fox addressed the Zoning Board. From page 4 of the attached minutes of the September 22, 2015 meeting of ZBA, Mr. Fox states in part, and I quote, the Planning Commission had stated at its meeting regarding a conditional use that it approved of a variance but it's clear from the city's charter and its ordinances, only this body, the Zoning and Building Standards Board of Appeals, may hear a variance. Close quotes. Mr. Fox clearly and purposely misled this body, as the North Canton Planning Commission did in fact approve a variance for the cell tower at the August 5th, 2017 meeting of the Planning Commission. I believe this instance to be but a snapshot of the manner in which Mr. Fox handles his position as North Canton's law director. I include with my remarks the various documents I have just cited. Every member of this council should cast a critical eye as to the way the current law director spins and twists the facts, not only in this instance, but often since he has taken on the role as North Canton's Director of Law. If Law Director Tim Fox can find the need to twist and distort the facts in an effort to reign supreme over a citizen as myself, who regularly researches council proceedings, what is he doing under far less scrutinized circumstances? I find Mr. Fox's veracity to be highly questionable. I ask that City Council end the reign of Law Director Tim Fox. Anybody have a question on the definition of veracity? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to address council? Please step forward. State your name and address.
Speak up, buddy. Speak up.
If there's anyone else wishing to address council, please step forward. State your name and address. My apologies, Sam.
I'd like to speak when it gets my turn.
You can come on up now.
All right?
You're up.
Most of the guy over there. Before you come up here, downstairs, anything I've reported you, we work, you move up here, I see something, I call your office and it's fixed. Right now, when you come up Alberta last year, you had to push that evergreen tree away to see the traffic light. Today it's dead. Get ready to fall in the street. And when I moved to North Canton, every summer, when the boys was out of school, they went up that wall and trimmed all the brush and those vines and everything else until Snyder came. I don't know where Snyder came from or nothing else, but I never seen him down there that whole time he was down there. But that is a danger. That tree's going to fall. And then, while you're setting that light, you look down. Ever since I was this big, they say, keep the fire plug clean. Don't park you can check that out down there. I never seen nothing like that in my life. The fire plug, them big stones, 3 firemen get around that plug, and one of those roll on them, what's going to happen? You know? Somebody want to laugh about it? That'll teach you. But anyhow, that is dangerous up there. That whole wall belongs to the city. You'll see a log fence and that picket fence behind it. So that wall belongs to the city. And down on my street, years ago, they had a sweeper. And I kept saying, please tell that guy, do not break the crust on my runway. So he kept doing it. Now I got to ditch that wide and this deep.
What's your address?
Down the end of my yard. You get on a John Deere, and that thing, the wheels come off the ground, and you put your foot down alongside that deck, you know. That's dangerous.
What's your home address?
It's half mine, half the city.
I'll get it for you, Doug.
Okay, thank you. So you live on
But
South-
anyhow, Snyder said that he was going to fix me one of those blacktop curb type things.
Okay.
And they said, well, your name don't end in Hoover, so we ain't gonna do nothing for you. So,
We'll come out and look at it.
but anyhow, Mike, from now on until I die, when I see something like, I don't know if you've seen that purse that I put up there. Did you see that purse I turned in? The purse was worth a couple $100, let alone what was in there. I just opened and looked and, thank you, and you kids behave yourself.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, if there's anyone else wishing to address council, please step forward, state your name and address. All right. See none, we will move on to old business. Oh, I'm sorry. Let the record reflect, Member Kiesling joined us. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Pat. Okay, moving on to old business. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 31-17?
Second.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 31, 2017, an ordinance declaring the traffic control purposes only that because of the length of Charlotte Street Northwest within the city of North Canton, Ohio, from its beginning at the intersection of Orchard Avenue Northeast to its merger into Portage Avenue Northwest is significantly less than 1 mile. It is hereby designated not as a through highway, but as a street, and therefore shall have a maximum speed limit thereon of 25 miles per hour, RC 4511.21 B and 2.
Thank you, Chairman Fontaine.
Okay, so just like it says, we're just talking from the Hoover District out into Portage there. We're going to adjust that to 25 miles an hour. This is the third reading. I move that we pass it if you don't have any questions.
Second.
Kiesling.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
And Griffith.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the third reading of ordinance number 31, 2017.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 32-17?
So moved. Second.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
And Kiesling.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 32, 2017, an ordinance declaring for traffic control purposes only that because of the length of Portage Street Northwest within the city of North Canton, Ohio, from its stop at Charlotte Street Northwest to its stop at Pittsburgh Avenue Northwest is less than 1 mile, that portion of Portage Street Northwest shall thereby designate not as a through highway, but as a street, and therefore shall have a maximum speed limit thereon of 25 miles per hour, RC 4511.21 B and 2.
Thank you. Chairman Fontaine.
This will be the third reading for the stretch from Pittsburgh up to up through Charlotte, Portage, where we've been talking about slowing it down. If there's no questions, I move that we.
I had a comment. I
Yeah.
want to thank Pat DiOrio, our acting engineer Robert Graham, and our law director Tim Fox for their work on this. This is something that a lot of constituents have, my constituents have advocated for years, and I'm just glad that it's finally going to pass here. And to let the public know, this isn't to create a speed trap by any means. I would think that the police department's not going to write you a ticket for going 26 miles an hour. It's a safety feature that's very necessary for the pedestrian and bike usage here on the sidewalk and just the neighbors that live right on Portage. So I think it's a great thing for the city. I think we'll work some things out with it, but once again, I want to thank everybody for this, and I'm very happy that's moving forward.
With that said, I move that we approve the third reading.
Second.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
And Peters.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the third reading of ordinance number 32, 2017.
Okay, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only the second reading of ordinance number 35-17?
So moved. Second.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
And Soretta.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the second reading of ordinance number 35, 2017. An ordinance amending North Canton Ordinance Number 50, 1977, specifically Sections 159.01, 159.02, and 159.03 to reflect the current Ohio Revised Code updates to the North Canton Record Retention Policy and Procedures.
Yes, just bring us up to date with current law. If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion and a second to adopt the second reading of ordinance number 3517.
So moved.
Second.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
And Folds.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the second reading of ordinance number 35, 2017.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the second reading of ordinance number 36-17?
So moved.
Second.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the second reading of ordinance number 36, 2017, an ordinance amending the current collective bargaining agreement by and between the City of North Canton and the North Canton Fiscal, Clerical, and Accounting Specialists collectively, which has an effective date of July 1st, 2015, and expires June 30th, 2018.
All right, thank you. If there's no further questions, I'd like to move this along, so I entertain a motion and a second to adopt the second reading of 36-17.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
And Griffith.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the second reading of ordinance number 36, 2017.
All right. Excuse me, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the second reading of ordinance number 38-17?
So moved.
Second.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
And Kiesling.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the second reading of ordinance number 38, 2017, an ordinance amending ordinance number 26, 2016, Regional Income Tax Agency, Regional Council of Governments, delegates to omit the names of individuals and appoint the Director of Finance as the city's delegate and the Director of Administration as the alternate delegate.
Thank you. Chairwoman, or I'm sorry, yeah. Chairman Griffith here.
That's all right.
You get it first.
We, again, are going to appoint Laura in her capacity as the finance director. And that was only the minor change we need to do an update for. So without other questions, I would move its approval.
Second.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
And Peters.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the second reading of ordinance number 38, 2017.
Thank you very much. On to new business, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 39-17?
So moved.
Second.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
And Soretta.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 39, 2017, an ordinance continuing community reinvestment area agreements between the City of North Canton and LMD Realty LLC and Insight Realty LLC.
Thank you. Chairman Keesley.
Yes, these are the two agreements we talked about last week. The church committee approved to continue the agreements with them. The ones with the Week Art Building and the other is the eye clinic on Portage. So, any questions, concerns? Motion we adopt.
Second.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
And Folds.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 39, 2017.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 40-17?
So moved. Second.
Griffith.
Yes.
Kiesling.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Soretta.
Yes.
Folds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 40, 2017, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 23, 2016, which authorized the Director of Administration to seek bids for police and fire department dispatch services for the city of North Canton.
All right, thank you. The chair would like to hit the reset button, for lack of better terms, and start from scratch, do a little more research on it. So I will entertain a motion and a second to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 40-17.
So moved. Did you have a question?
Yeah, we were gonna say yes, because we're gonna repeal the other ordinance. Correct?
Yeah.
Everybody's looking like,
Yes, no, we just talked about it before. I'll second, yeah.
Kiesling,
yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
and Griffith.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 40, 2017.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 41-17?
So moved.
Second,
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
and Kiesling.
yes.
6 yes to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 41, 2017, an ordinance approving, confirming, and accepting additional right-of-way on the east side of alley number 57 from Harmon Street South to West Maple Street North for the West Maple Street widening project, including the St. Paul Church parking lot.
Thank you. Chairman Fontaine.
It's just like it says, we need to accept the additional right-of-way on the alley / side of the road there, where they're doing all that work on West Maple for the widening, including St. Paul's parking lot, so the street widening and the parking lot. So I move for the approval of the first reading.
Second.
Soretta,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling,
Yes.
and Peters.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 41, 2017.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 42-17?
So moved.
Second.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
and Soretta.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 42, 2017, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 14, 2017, that authorizes the City of North Canton to enter into an agreement to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation's sodium chloride rock salt purchasing program for the 2017-2018 winter season, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Yes, Chairman Fontaine.
So we repealed the one, added some language to it, based on what ODOT wanted, and this is for the 2017-18 winter season, so that we can buy it off season. It's an emergency, because we want to get this done before winter. I move we approve that emergency read.
Second it.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta,
Yes.
and Folds.
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 42, 2017.
May I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings for ordinance number 42-17?
So moved.
Second.
Griffith,
Yes.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
6 yes to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings for ordinance number 42, 2017.
All right, and a motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules ordinance number 42-17.
So moved.
Second.
Kiesling,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine, and Griffith.
Yes.
6 yes to suspend the rules for ordinance number 42, 2017.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the first reading of resolution number 6-17?
So moved.
Second.
Peters,
Yes.
Soretta,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
and Kiesling.
Yes.
6 yes to read by title only the first reading of Resolution 6, 2017, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Ohio Department of Transportation winter contract for road salt and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you, Chairman Fonte.
Yeah, this, I believe, Tim, is this right? This is where the language had to be changed in this particular one?
That's correct. This was
Revised,
requested by ODOT as language it required for its agreement.
Okay, so it's on emergency, and I move that we approve that.
Second.
Soretta?
Yes.
Folds?
Yes.
Fontaine?
Yes.
Griffith?
Yes.
Keesling?
Yes.
And Peters?
Yes.
6 yes to adopt the first reading of Resolution 6, 2017.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings for resolution number 6-17?
So moved.
Second.
Folds?
Yes.
Fontaine?
Yes.
Griffith?
Yes.
Keesling?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
And Soretta?
Yes.
6 yes to suspend the rules of council for 3 readings for Resolution 6, 2017.
Thank you. Finally, a motion and a second to adopt under suspension of the rules resolution number 6-17.
So moved.
Second.
Fontaine?
Yes.
Griffith?
Yes.
Keesling?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Soretta?
Yes.
And Folds?
Yes.
6 yes to adopt under suspension of the rules for Resolution 6, 2017.
Thank you. At this time, reports. Member Fonte.
I want to thank all the folks who spoke today. And Sam, I'll come over and check out the wall and those things, see what that's all about, take some pictures, see if we can get some of that taken care of. The other important thing is this Thursday, there's a Zimmer Ditch meeting here in the chamber. It's not at the Civic Center, it's here in the chamber. And it's at 6 p.m. And it's an important meeting because we have some money to talk about and hopefully correct some of these final problems we've been dealing with. State Representative Kurt Schering will be here. Representatives from Stark Parks and the other affiliates should be here. It's this Thursday, 6 p.m. You're all welcome to show up, including anybody in the audience and you young students. That's all I have.
Good news.
Yeah,
Exciting.
that's all I have.
Thank you. Member Keesling, I'm writing something down.
That's okay. No report, but Don, I won't be able to make Thursday, so definitely give us an update.
I will.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Griffith.
I had 2 items. A special thanks to the police department. We did, our church did the annual run right before Easter on Saturday. As usual, and many people commented about how helpful the police were and how nice a job they did. It's just another great event. Those are the kind of things we really like about North Canton, about living here too. So a special thanks to the police. And secondly, I completely lost what I was going to say. What was the other thing? No, what was it?
Dan being the youngest one on council.
I almost did. Oh, yes, it was a thank you for, I remember. It was a thank you to the folks, also for the dirt on the tree lines on Woodrow. That there was some soil that was replaced, and the seeds were put into. So
That's good.
I appreciate that. It looks much better. Okay, thank you.
Member Sherrod.
Just one thing, as a result of that business meeting we had for the chamber, one of the things that came out there was the business people were upset that the Hoover district was looking so ratty, and that it was kind of a double standard kind of thing. And after informing Mayor Hell, he got on the phone with those folks, and I don't know what that conversation, but then he had me follow up with the local people, and they're going to put some money and some time into just cleaning it up for the summer at least. They're gonna do some landscaping, take that fence down, put some seed in, and maybe a little bit of curbing, just for the time being, so it looks clean enough for our summer and everything. So thank you, Dave, for getting on that, going after the folks that were the business. And that's the kind of thing that we want. We want to hear, some people, stand up, and so we can then stand up. So I want to thank Dave for doing that for all of us. That'll be it. No other report.
Thank you. Member Folds.
Yeah, just to echo Councilman Griffith's comments. Appreciate the road and park departments going out to take care of that grass strip there in the median, not the median, but the curb lawn. It's an 8-foot wide curb lawn, by the way. It's not 18-inch, 8-foot wide. And we do have plans coming up in the fall to maybe help with some trees there. I know a lot of us have discussed internally, we need to bring to the forefront some type of sidewalk policy that will make sense. There's a lot of code violations on those sidewalks, so we need to tackle that and get ahead of that curb.
I'm sorry, you're talking about the curb line
On Woodrow.
Okay,
On Woodrow.
all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the curb lawn on
Curb
Woodrow.
line, yeah.
the 8-foot curb line. So we have a chance now to really design that street more productively with the right trees under those lines that aren't going to grow into them. And hopefully some of the neighbors, maybe Councilman Griffith can champion this too, put bigger trees in their yards that will develop the canopy that we want to grow over it, so it does reflect both sides of the street, having a shade canopy when you drive down it. As we know, the south side does not have the wires, so the high tension voltage lines, so their trees can grow and not need to be cut back so much, but the north side is the problem. So I think we're going to be very productive with that area. Just to follow up too, I read Ron Ponder's comments in the repository. He was a very popular radio host there for WHBC, and I think he's not there anymore, I'll just leave it at that. I think he's good for the community, and he provides both points of view on everything he discusses. They said something about a town hall meeting here in North Canton. Mayor Hall, are you aware of that, or is there any more information on that?
Are you talking about the coming together of Stark County?
Is that tomorrow? Is that what we're talking about, Tuesday?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that Fox News.
Yes.
The Fox News channel has the President Trump's first 100 days. And so they have a live show that's on at 7 p.m. I believe it's weekly, the Martha McCallum show. And so they go to different parts across the country, and they're going to hold that at the Stolly Corporation,
okay,
which is we recognize as a North Canton business. It's actually just outside of our city, and they're a manufacturing company. So they're coming in tomorrow, and they're going to set up a live show. So it's a large town hall meeting, and one of the primary focuses is going to be manufacturing. And historically, this area has always been, Stark County has been given a lot of attention when it comes to manufacturing, because it seems to be like a bellwether as far as the demographics of the people who live here, as far as the diversity of the Republicans and Democrats. So they're going to hold a town hall meeting here at the Stolly Company tomorrow from 7 to 8.
okay.
And so those that want to attend, I believe you'd have to be there earlier, like at 5 or 5:30. But I know they have restrictions, which I'm not all that familiar with it. But, certainly because they have limited space.
Well, thanks for the update, because it said town hall meeting in North Canton, and I thought, well,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
hear about it from anybody. I'm like,
Are you
is it here tomorrow night, or where's
It's
this take
actually
place?
just outside,
Okay,
just outside the city.
Are you going, Dave? to
Yes, I'm
represent us?
going to go and attend the meeting. And the council members, I had, a little while back had sent out a text. And I can get
that's
you
right,
an
yeah.
email too, so if you'd like to attend, you're
Okay.
certainly would love to have you there.
well,
And,
thank you.
what they're trying to do is just get an idea of what the people in the Stark County area think
Right.
about manufacturing, which is, there's not enough, so we want more.
Appreciate your comments. And last, Sam, thanks for your comments. Sam's 92 years old. I've known him for 22 years since I've been on council, and he always points out things that need attention in the city, and God bless you for that. You got a good eye, and whatever you say, we should go out and take a look at and try to improve the city. So thank you for your commitment as a resident. We can't solve all the problems, Sam, but I appreciate what you do and bring up to us, and I'll talk to you after meeting too as well.
There's one more thing.
Well, we'll talk after.
I'd like for you guys to find that sewer sign off that bridge.
Okay, we'll talk about it after meeting. Thanks, Sam.
Someone involved in the city, somebody, that bridge down there had Hoover on both sides, and somebody stole the sign.
Oh, okay. They're never hurt.
See you guys put it back up.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay, I have a couple things here. The Charter Review Commission have concluded their deliberations. I spoke to the Chairman Boffman. We should be receiving their recommendations at some point this week. At that time, what we will do, we will publish for 2 consecutive weeks those recommendations, and then 1 week after the final publication, we'll set a public hearing. Okay, our deadline is the first week of August, so we have time, but that's the time frame that we need to look at. Also, the Walsh annexation is coming up. So what I'd like to do, we need to discuss that in committee. So what I'd like to do, and I need a motion in a second, I want to move May 1st work session into the May 8th, after the May 8th legislative agenda. And then the Walsh annexation will be on that committee. So we have a motion, a second, to move the May 1st meeting, or sorry, the May 1st work session to May 8th.
That's a motion, does that mean we're not meeting May 1st?
No.
So that's committee of the whole, you're saying?
Committee of the whole.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
I want to move that I want to move that work session to the 8th.
So we won't,
Because we're not meeting on the 1st?
Correct.
Okay, you said
Yes.
yes, so I just making sure.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Correct, no meeting on the 1st, moving it to the 8th, I motion.
Okay. The second?
Somebody?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. For the public's consumption, our next meeting date will be May 8th. That will be our legislative meeting. There will be public speaks, followed by a work session. And that is it for me. Law Director.
Yes, sir. And let me apologize in advance for having to bring this up again, but as we kidded a few minutes ago, sometimes memory gets away from me. And that's what Mr. Osborne had brought up at the beginning of this meeting, arguing that, maybe it's 2 years ago, it's been quite a while, but arguing that our planning commission granted a variance, and this variance that he's talking about is the cell tower at Montebello, Monticello, and that area for the city of Canton. Now, as what's stated in our charter and our ordinances, the Planning Commission has no authority to grant a variance. It's akin to this city council, North Canton, establishing a federal holiday and decreeing that all other states must comply. Now, that's all well and good for North Canton City Council, but you have no authority to push that on Ohio and our other 49 states. So trying to enact a federal holiday as a city council, regardless of your actions, is void. And what he is alleging, that the Planning Commission granted a variance for the Tower Co. Well, the tower's not there. And Tower Co. had to amend its plan to move the tower so that it didn't require a variance. The Homeowners Association, as well as the city of Canton, initially filed an appeal, and after I spoke with legal counsel, they withdrew their appeal on that very basis, that the Planning Commission doesn't have authority to grant a variance. And so Tower Co. simply changed its plan. No variance was required. And so the allegation that I am harassing him or picking on him simply for pointing that out the numerous times that it's raised, and to counter the baseless allegation that our Planning Commission has committed this long-running foul. If you continue to bring it up, I'm obligated to say that I'm going to choose to not follow your recommendation that our city boards, our council, our commissions, that they follow the established rules. You choose the rules that you think you want to have followed when they benefit you, and when they don't, you lash out and say that they're incorrect and they're unlawful. If you look at the record, you know full well it can't grant a variance. It did not grant a variance. There's no tower there within inside the permitted area to place the tower. So as I said, I'm going to continue to be adamant that we follow the rules, because actually, if we don't follow the rules, then we get ourselves in trouble. We have to go back and follow certain remedies and so forth. But to lash out and to criticize that we follow the rules and then make the criticism that we don't, your argument, sometimes you say it ends up eating itself. So again, I apologize for taking up your time. Hopefully it's brought up, but this record is put in verbatim transcript. Someone may wish to read this in a year, 5, 10 years from now, and actually believe something that came out of his mouth was correct. And it's my role, if he's going to state that we're not following the rules, to go ahead and correct the record. So I apologize if you feel that you're singled out, but I believe the way this started is that you stated that I'm pushing these boards not to follow the rules, and that's an incorrect statement. That's all I have.
Thank you, Tim. Director of Finance.
Thank you. Just one item. Several months ago, the mayor had asked me to look into the possibility of a wellness program for our employees. Working with our insurance consultant, we found a grant through BWC that may be able to pay for most, if not all, of that program. But we do need a certain level of employee and spouse participation. So over the next several weeks, Deputy Director of Finance is going to be traveling around to our departments and trying to gauge interest, see if people want to sign up. There are rewards in it for those that do participate. So we'll see if we get enough interest to get a program going.
Does that include council members as well?
It can include all full and part-time employees, which is something really great about it, because a lot of benefits we can't extend to our part-timers, but this is one that, because it's through BWC and everyone on payroll is under that program.
Yeah, you want to keep us healthy.
Good stuff.
I think you've chosen the right person to evangelize for the program.
That's right.
You can do some
Can't be persuasive.
Thank you. Director of Administration.
Yeah, Sam and I go back a long ways too, so I wrote down every one of his concerns. We'll check each one of those out, and not to worry, Sam will get back with me by the end of the week, and we'll make sure that they're taken care of. So the other thing is, just this week, if you live in the northwest or southwest section, we'll be flushing the hydrants in your area during the night. So if you got any discoloration, wait a little bit, but if it continues, why then give us a call. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, we have, first off, Jessica, you're in the back of the audience, if you don't mind standing up. Jessica Stroya, I'm sure most of the people in the audience here know who Jessica is. She just completed her service on the Charter Review Commission, and then we appointed her today, swore her in as a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals. All right. As you all know, that's a real important position because you got to be very detail oriented. And so I know when Jessica was reporting to council after the one meeting, after she had measured the width of the street and the amount of time that it would require to stop, I thought, boy, she would be excellent on one of our boards. So she gladly accepted. We're going to have her serve on that. And then we have upcoming, we have the State of the City, which is going to be this Wednesday at 6 p.m. And Laura and Mike and Patrick and our engineer, Rob, and council, everybody that provided information for that, because it's really kind of it's an update, on the city's finances and condition and where we're going. And we are looking good, so it'll be a positive State of the City, which is nice.
Where's the location going to be?
That's going to be at the Civic Center at 6 p.m. And we're also going to have the schools too, and the Chamber of Commerce. Doug Lane's going to moderate it, as he's always done in the past. The Chamber had limited their appointments throughout the year, what they could sponsor, and so they weren't able to sponsor the State of the City, but we still invited Doug to provide his service as moderator, so that'll be a good thing. So the refreshments are going to be on the city, so that's okay. And then we also have, when we were looking at the newsletter, we had talked about this. The first newsletter really turned out very well. We got a very positive response from that. And the good thing is that was paid through the recycling grant, which makes it even better. And that's money that we earn every ton of recyclables that we that we collect, we get grant money for that. So we'd like to send it out. The focus would be every, like twice a year. You know, having a quarterly newsletter, you have some of the townships, they'll send out a quarterly newsletter. But what we decided to do is to do it twice a year because the postage is the most expensive. The printing is not that expensive, but the postage is real expensive. So rather than having 4 mailings, we reduce it to 2 mailings, but we make the newsletter thicker, you know, multiple pages. So instead of an 8-page newsletter 4 times a year, we're going to go with a 16-page newsletter twice a year. Same amount of information. Any information you council members have that our residents are bringing up to you as far as questions, concerns, if you would, you can certainly call me at any time, but if you want to go right directly to Jane Putnam, she is the one putting together the newsletter, and so we try to get as much information as we can in there. But it's just to address, you know, the issues and concerns that the residents have. So the focus, I don't think we have a specific date for that, but it is the spring, so I would say sometime by the end of May, we hope to have it completed. And then lastly, Councilman Sreda and I were communicating with the Hoover District. Mark has had a very good relationship with the local people here at the Hoover District. They've been very responsive to him. And I've had a long-standing relationship with Sue Lichter and Chris Samaritan. And so we've kind of had a dual approach with that. It's worked very well so far. And the goal is to get the place cleaned up out front here. They're going to be putting in the grass, as Margaret stated, in the curbs. So we also hope to meet where we're looking at maybe sometime, maybe May 8th, to get like an update from Sue Lichter as to what they're doing at the Hoover District. But what we can tell you is that the reason for the delay is the financing. There were 2 things, the approvals from the US EPA, which that's going along very well, and the other is the financing for the project, which they have multiple sources of financing and grants for that. So, but they're still committed to that. They're moving ahead. They're very excited about it, and everybody in here, I believe, has been given a tour of it. When you see the inside, the bulk of the investment, they've spent over $12 million so far in the second phase. And it's internal, it's not on the outside. They're not doing the outside because, you know, they have the trucks going in and out, you know, and they're loading the lumber and so forth. So they don't want to put a new parking lot down and then destroy that, or put grass down and destroy that. But they are going to, and Mark, they spoke to you about that, like the curb along the corner, right? They didn't get too specific about it, but they're going to clean it up. So we hope to have more updates in the near future. And that is all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple quick things for you. First is Price Park. We finished up all our fix-ups to the pond itself. You probably noticed we're starting to refill it. It's probably got another foot and a half to go. And also, today the contractor started the grading for the sidewalk along the east side and the extra wide sidewalk right at the pond itself. So if the weather cooperates, we should see some concrete by the end of the week. Get that all buttoned up for residents to use. Second project update is 7th Street Northwest. I guess for the folks that live there is light at the end of the tunnel finally. It's been a long time coming. All the concrete work, underground work, restoration work is all done. If you were to drive it, you'd just see that the old pavement's in. Have to take out that old pavement and then reapply the new pavement. And a subcontractor is supposed to come in Wednesday and start that work.
Nice.
So hopefully we get that buttoned up pretty quick.
That'll be nice.
Thank you. And that completes my report.
Thank you, sir. Director of Administrative Services.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just 2 items. One, in regards to the proximity card devices, that project is nearing completion. I anticipate delivering to members of council at the next city council meeting their active cards so that you'll be able to get into various buildings and the like. There was a slight holdup with 2 specialty doors, one in the police department and one in the fire department, that required some special equipment that needed to be ordered, and that stuff came in, and it looks like that's done now. So they'll be here tomorrow. We'll be putting the software on the computers and assigning cards and then delivering them to the employees. Second, I'm pleased to report that we have completed the project in archiving our social media. And we may not have had much opportunity to just talk about it, so I'll just give you the quick synopsis. But, around the country, and certainly in Ohio, the state laws require that information posted to social media websites that belong to the city are, in fact, public records. They must be maintained. And so we've contracted with a company that is the market leader in providing archiving of social media records for all levels of government. The name of the company is Archive Social. They do the White House, Department of Justice, State of Ohio, all kinds of municipalities. That's their forte. So we contracted with them in order to get that done, and so all the history that is out there has been captured successfully and is available should a public record request or a request from law enforcement agencies for various things, we would be able to comply with those. And it may not gather a lot of your attention, but I'll just quickly say that in doing all the research for this, cities all across the country are plagued with when a viral event happens and your site does not have the archiving features. One that I recollect from Florida was an individual had posted a Facebook, on their own Facebook page, of a picture of an animal that was being abused. And that went viral. And as the individuals interested in the story started to investigate the Facebook page of that individual, they determined, incorrectly, but they determined that this person resided in a particular community in Florida. And so then all of that attention that was going on internationally was redirected to the government Facebook page of that community saying, how can you let somebody in your community do this to this poor animal? And why don't you do something about it? They didn't know. The person didn't even live there. But their social media pages went from experiencing 200 to 300 hits a day to 20 to 30,000 hits a day. That drawed enough attention from the local broadcast media that they wanted to do a story on it, and they did a public records request against the government agency, and they were in a difficult position. So we will not experience that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for taking care of both those things so rapidly. The proximity thing, I think it's been great to turn it around so quickly.
Thank you.
Well done.
Are you having any problems with all the city employees getting used to the fact that they need to swipe now versus just walk in?
For the most part, to answer that question, no one's swiping yet. We want to go back and do a Dora the Explorer. Swiper, no swiping. But they're not swiping just yet, but they will be. I don't anticipate it being a problem because for the most part, during the course of business hours, most of the doors will be open, that they wouldn't need to use the pass. It would be just in certain locations that, perhaps on interior doors that you wouldn't have access to, that you would need to have that. So for the most part, I don't think there would be much effect on it.
Thanks for the good work.
Mark, you got something?
Yeah, just one thing here. Administrator Grimes and I attended a TAP meeting on Friday. TAP meetings talk about potential. And one thing they brought up at the meeting was this ranking that came up for North Canton. It's something maybe Dave wants to put in the state of the city. Anyways, it's called a company, it's a U.S. company called NICHE, N-I-C-H-E. I think that's how you pronounce that. But Niche. And 2017 best places to live. Okay, and where do we rank on this? This is kind of interesting. What they did is they took The grades take into account several factors: location, quality of local schools, crime rates, housing trends, employment statistics, and access to amenities, and attempts to measure the overall quality of the area. And our total grade was an A. So we're doing something right here. People want to live here. There's, you know, we look at the housing. Housing got an A on just everything across the board almost were A or B. So we're doing some good things there. Of course, we should look at this all the time and see what we can always improve on. But when we rank pretty well amongst the cities in the nation when you look at some of those things. So kudos to the things that we're doing here. So just keep moving forward.
Great.
We can end on a good note there.
Good. That's right. And last but not least, Madam Clerk.
Just a reminder, I have a police chief promotional exam next Friday at 1 p.m. in the conference room, and I have 3 people who have signed up for it. And that's all.
Outstanding. All right. Can't wait. Final call for new business to council. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned.